Let's meet John.
This is where they store all of their stuff outside of the city. Crazy heat. Still a good, healthy running M50. Well, we just checked compression and we had 150 plus across the board. I think cylinder number 4 might have had 180, which is pretty spicy. But they're all good. Good compression, good motor, sounds great. Ran fine. So, yep, now we can confirm and now we can start pulling. Next, I'm going to be going after this front radiator and shroud assembly. Let's get that out of the way. And I planned on taking the front end off, hood for sure, but I'm not sure if we'll pull the front end stuff. We'll see, but I'm not sure how I want to pull this yet. I got a few different options, so we'll see. The AC is going to stay, so all that is literally just going to come off the compressor right there. It'd be super easy, and all this is just going to stay. We don't even have to open the system if there's Freon in it. Really, see these 13s right here. 1, 2, and then there's 3, 4 down under there, and that's literally just going to fall this way, and that's probably going to stay in there. All of this crust will probably pull off and clean this up because it looks pretty good. It just needs to be cleaned up and a little spit shine, elbow grease type of thing, you know. All right, so off camera, me and Brain, we got the hood off. So now I'm just going to set you up on a time lapse, and I'm going to start going to town. I'm going to start with radiator, all the plastics, and just start pulling stuff off. AC. And I'm still not sure how I'm going to do this. We might pull the front end off, we might not. I'd like to leave it alone if I can because everything fits perfect. And I don't want to be responsible for making everything fit perfect. Again, that's just a big headache, taking it apart, putting it back together if I don't have to. So if that's the case, we'll have this motor out pretty quick. Guys, so I've been cranking away on getting this M50 pulled, and let me show you what we got going on. Alright, so I'm getting the harness separated and pulling everything off. If this car was not going back together, I would take the harness off the car, leave it with the motor. That's a lot easier. I'm actually having to go through and label all these plugs and really disconnect everything so that when we drop our S52 in, whichever one of these is going in, we can just plug it in and go from there. So here's one thing that sucks. First of all, knock sensor disintegrated. Impressive. I've never seen that. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. What about this one? This one, same thing. Disintegrated. Literally falling apart. Alright, the other thing that sucks, since this car is OBD1, as all E34s are, look at this. We got nuts behind our starter. Let me focus in on that. Okay, so if you have an OBD1 E36, you know all about this. OBD2, they got smart and the starters were threaded. So what I might do when this gets apart is I might weld that nut to the starter so that that stays there forever. Actually, I think that case is aluminum. That won't work. That won't work. Sucks to suck. So, got to get a small 16mm wrench and hold those as I pull them out. But with the E34 chassis, it's pretty simple. There's a ton of room back here. Compared to the E36, we'd be underneath right now going at these, stuffing our hand way up on top of the transmission trying to hold those nuts. But E34, I can see clear as day down into here. Whatever I need to see, I can see it all. So that's pretty cool. So we'll just keep on keeping on, and this thing will be out in no time. All right, now that we got the harness completely separated and I just left the starter attached, so that will be our mess to connect to our S52. Now I'm gonna take this thing up in the air and we'll get the AC off down at the bottom, power steering down at the bottom, and see what else we can get off down at the bottom. All right guys, we're back. It's a new day. I got my MPPs on. These are my motor pulling pants, if you don't know. You need some MPPs to do a job like this. Also need an engine hoist to do a job like this. So I'm gonna get her rigged up and start yanking. We'll see if she comes free. Well, we're not really asking, but we'll ask anyways. All right, we got the M50 out. It wasn't perfect, but it went pretty well because I really wanted to leave the front end on. So I knew it was going to be kind of a pain. I knew I could have disconnected the trans in the car, but I was up for the challenge. And me and George, we got it done, right, George? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got it done. Picked it right over. I really wanted to protect this. But yeah, there it is. M50's out. S50 goes in. So now we got a bunch of parts we got to steal off this, such as the oil pan. I'll probably drain the oil now and get the oil pan swapped so we can steal this oil pan, and probably just throw another 24 valve rear sump oil pan on this. We got to steal the sump too. We got to steal everything from this. Motor mounts, bunch of stuff. So let's get to it. Next thing I'll be removing is the clutch, flywheel, and pressure plate assembly. I think he said this was newer, and it looks newer even though there's some rust on it. You have to remember this car's been sitting, so that'll clean up really well. This does look like a pretty new setup. So if it is new and good, we had no problems with it, we'll throw it behind the S52 as long as it'll work with our get rag transmission. We thought there was a ZF in this car, so we might swap it. We'll see, but there was no problems with the get rag, so we'll probably just go with the get rag again. And if that's the case, this clutch setup will work.